Yeah,
Amanda, can we
okay.
mute everybody?
Yes, let's get everyone muted. Hello, hello, everyone, to the Unlock Your Weight Loss Blocks program. My name is Amanda Hinman. I'm super excited to be here with everyone. And we have Carol Look joining us as well. We're going to be just creating some really powerful breakthroughs for you, ladies, this
Okay,
month.
hold on, just some house cleaning. Everybody, please mute yourself.
Yes.
Everybody, or Amanda, you can do it from your end, but everybody, before we get started, mute yourselves so we can see your beautiful pictures, but not hear you and the background noise.
Yes, please.
Amanda, can you mute them? Like
I don't know if I can mute everyone at the same time. Let's see. Mute all.
everybody,
There we go.
yeah,
Yes.
please mute yourself. And I can
There you go. There you
there.
go. That's what we did. Okay.
So we got a lot of people on the call today, so we want to make sure the recording is great and you can hear everything. Yeah,
Yes.
Ruth, can you do it other than Canva? You were all sent the email with the workbook. Check your spam. We'll send absolutely 100%. Send it again and send it more than once. Okay. But can you do it? Can your VA do anything besides sending it in Canva right now?
Sending it.
Ruth says, can you do it other than Canva?
No. Let me look and see if I can have that in another way. Let me just look for a check. 1 second there. Give me a moment.
Or we can get going and just have, if your VA could
Yeah.
do it at the end of the class, because we're
Yeah.
going
Her
to
I'll have her definitely send the workbook out with the recording when we send out the masterclass or the program recording for today. You'll have the same Zoom link for all 4 weeks. So if you want to go ahead and pop that in your calendar now, it's 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each week. So you can put that Zoom link in your calendar now, but we will be sending out a reminder each class with the Zoom link and the link to the workbook, as well as when the recording comes out afterwards later in the day, then you can get the workbook that way as well.
and it's daylight time, not standard. So those of you in other countries, look up daylight time, not standard for USA.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much.
UDT. All righty. So so Julie just says you just sent the whatever the ebook came.
What did you say? You just sent me came through PDF. Okay. So yes. So the PDF version is via email. Um, so you can get that through your email, and someone said click the downward arrow near the printer icon.
Okay.
Oh, you want to get the from the other one. Okay.
The link in the chat, everybody. All right. Let's get started. Those ding dongs are people coming in. So we're getting more and more people coming in. Here's 3:04. We got to get started. We will.
Yeah, we got to get rolling here.
Go ahead. So,
all right. Let's kick us off, everyone. So for those of you that I have not yet met, my name is Amanda Hinman. I'm the founder of the Thyroid Hormone Solution and specialize in helping women over 40 to feel fantastic in their bodies by releasing weight, balancing their hormones, and improving their hormone, mood, and gut health. And Carol, do you want to take a moment to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone. First of all, I'm delighted to be doing this program with Amanda, who is an expert. And I'm Carol Look, and I'm a traditional psychotherapist with a doctoral degree in clinical hypnosis, and I am an EFT master trained by the originator of the tapping technique. And I'm an expert in stress relief of all kinds, and that has a big deal to do with your weight in your body. So I'm delighted to be here with all of you and with Amanda.
Yes, and today we're going to be talking about if you're over 40 and you're dealing with some frustrating health symptoms, right? Weight gain specifically, and maybe also some insomnia or, mood swings, fatigue. These types of things go hand in hand when we see imbalance in the hormones and in our nervous system. Perhaps you feel like you've tried everything. It's not a matter of trying a new diet or trying a new exercise program, trying to do some, different techniques to get to the root cause of your weight gain, and yet your body still is holding on to these excess pounds. Then I want you to know it seems like your body is working against you. If you feel that way, has anyone felt that way? Yeah, put a me in the chat if any of this is resonating with you. If you're like, yeah, definitely been there, done that, tried everything. Hates of me. Yep, absolutely. Okay, well, I want you to know first and foremost, you are not alone. You're in the right place because this is exactly what Carol and I have ourselves experienced and also helped other women. It's about looking at, this interplay of how our body responds and why we hold on to weight. So I like to kind of dive into a little bit of the educational piece and share. I'm going to share my screen for just a moment. Hi, for those of you just
Before you start, can you turn off the ding dongs? It's your tech, not mine. I'm so low tech, I'm no tech. Can you turn off the ding dongs?
uh, I don't think I can in the middle of this meeting. I think I can for the next one, but I can't do it in the middle of it.
Perfect. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be talking a little bit about what causes weight gain. Why do we even do this in the first place? Why does our body hold on to it? Well, a couple different reasons. First, there's a biochemical red light to signal when our body is out of balance. Believe it or not, even though it may not feel like this, the body is always trying the very best that it can to function at a high level, given the environment that we have created for our bodies to be in, right? So when there's some type of weight gain happening, it's kind of like our body is waving the red flag and saying, hey, pay attention over here, pay attention, there's something out of balance going on. And when we have chronic stress and nervous system dysregulation, this signals that there's a threat somewhere to the body. So the body prepares for this threat by storing extra sources of fuel, aka fat. It's like, oh, we better have this extra supply that we can rely on in case of emergency. So it wants to put this extra fat available, right? Another source of weight gain is actually found through nutrient deficiencies. We're going to be talking a little bit about why this happens because our body needs a ton of nutrients just in order to package up the toxic things that it's used, metabolic waste, just from existing. When you exist every single day, you have trillions of cells that are doing all sorts of chemical reactions and they create waste. Well, in order for our body to be able to remove that waste, it needs nutrients to do that disposal. If we don't have adequate nutrients, those toxins, that metabolic waste, if you will, just kind of piles up and gets stored in the body. So one of the things that we can think about when it comes to really what we need to know about cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that we hear about all the time. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and this is really a factor impacting weight, especially for women in the perimenopause and menopausal season of life because of the change in our other hormones, our change in our estrogen and our change in our progesterone. Those are the sex hormones. They start to decline and diminish as we approach menopause and are in menopause. But they act as a buffer to cortisol. So once those hormone levels start to decline and are at lower places, then all of a sudden menopausal women have this heightened vulnerability to the effects of cortisol because we don't have this estradiol, part of the estrogen family, helping to mitigate cortisol's influence, right? This information is in the workbook, yes, so you don't have to memorize it, but I do feel like it's sometimes helpful to see some of these statistics and understand how our body works. So when we think about cortisol's role, it's primarily there to promote the storage of visceral fat, which is the fat around the belly, right? When we see like kind of apple-shaped size. It also increases what's called glycogenesis, which is releasing sugar from the muscle and the liver. It worsens insulin's resistance and lowers thyroid hormone conversion. Those, again, kind of technical terms without getting too into the weeds here. Thyroid is responsible for our metabolism. We want to have strong thyroid function in order to have strong metabolism. But in order to have strong thyroid function, we have to have really good liver health because the liver is what does this conversion process. And finally, cortisol disrupts leptin. Leptin is a different hormone that signals and tells your brain when you're full. So you can see now, if we have changes in our estrogen and our progesterone, they start to decline. So all of a sudden what's happening with cortisol has a bigger influence That's why we see weight gain in women often after age 40. So what's the root cause when we think about why is our body putting on weight and why is it holding on to it? I like to share this whole
Amanda,
HPT axis. Yes.
hi. So let me just back up from all of that. So I love the stuff you're sharing because as long as many years as people have been working on the weight loss stuff, they don't know that specifically. And going through that specifically really helps because for me, I would call it a perfect storm. So my expertise is in the cortisol functioning that happens, with stress and the nervous system dysregulation. So you've got menopausal stuff, you've got stress, you've got the dysregulation. We have everything in this perfect storm. And then you wonder why women get frustrated. Everybody, you didn't join this call because you're doing fabulously with your body. You joined this call because you're still frustrated. And Amanda going through these slides, yes, they're all in your workbook. It's so important to understand the intricacy and how they intermingle, right? And how the bottom line is when you're dysregulated with stress, there's a cascade that happens. And your poor body can't help but hold on to weight. That's why our emails were telling you, are you tired of holding on to weight? Do you feel like you're holding on to something, but it is weight, but maybe it's also stress? So this is just so important, this background information, Amanda. I love it. And I think it's missing. Well, it's missing. I know it's missing in most of the weight loss programs out there because they're all about food and movement. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and thank you, Carol, for pointing that out. One thing I like to plant this seed, and you can see over the course of this month if this starts to resonate with any of you ladies in a different way. Oftentimes it's like, oh man, it's hard to be a woman in this season of life, just because as we talked about, and as Carol mentioned, it's like this kind of like perfect storm of events that are changing your body, your hormones are changing, possibly your life circumstances are changing, or there's other factors that create stressful dynamics. So why does it have to be so hard? And I like to offer the perspective of what if, in some weird way, it could actually be viewed as a gift. And the gift is it requires us to lean in more and pay attention more specifically to our own self-care and our own well-being, mental, emotional well-being, physical well-being, how we're cherishing and taking care of our bodies and our temple. And it's almost like after menopause, we don't have kind of the cushion, the buffer that can kind of let us skate by and make some choices that maybe are not as healthy for relationships that we're involved in, or not putting up boundaries, or not taking care of our nutrition and our movement. It's like it kind of all adds up. So it almost like heightens even more. This could be an opportunity to increase your self-love and increase the way that you cherish and take care of your body. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Carol. All right, let me kind of go back to a little bit more of the kind of the behind the scenes of what's happening when we think about this axis of connection. Everything starts with the hypothalamus. That is the first signaling aspect in the body. And the hypothalamus is located in your brain, and it's really responsible for your thoughts and your beliefs and your perceptions. This is where you're making sense of what's happening in your world, right? That then signals to the pituitary gland, also located in the brain, and it kind of helps to assess the hormones that it secretes and what signals it's going to send out. And then that sends a message down to the adrenal glands, which is responsible for handling your stress and your immunity. So cortisol response comes from the adrenals and our immune function. So when we think about things like risk of autoimmune disease, risk of cardiovascular disease, risk of cancer, these are strongly correlated with our immune response, right? And then eventually that signals down to the thyroid, which helps regulate metabolism. So when we're trying to affect weight, a lot of people are trying to focus on the metabolism piece. Well, what's up the chain? It starts with what's happening in the hypothalamus with our thoughts, our beliefs, and our perceptions. So I like this quote down here: life is about 10% what happens to you and about 90% of how you react to it. And this is part of that reasoning why. So really, when we think about the root cause, it has to do with our nervous system. These two modes of operation, either in sympathetic, fight or flight, or freeze is what some people think about it, or the parasympathetic, which is the rest and the digest and the heal, where your immune system is really strong, where your digestive capacity is really strong, that you can break down those nutrients and access what your body needs from the foods that you eat. Right? So I want to take a pulse check here. I know I'm kind of getting into the weeds here. Has anyone thought about, you know, if I were to think about it, how often does my body feel really calm and relaxed and at ease versus in a typical day? What percentage of the time am I likely kind of got a lot of things on my list or a lot of things running in the back of my mind that I have to keep remembering or keep track of or be responsible for? If you were to allocate, if you were to think about, is it 50-50? 50% of the time you feel at ease and you relax and you're calm and life is piece of cake, or in 50% you're kind of like, ooh, a little bit of management, a little bit of overwhelm, a little bit of anxiety. Well, just kind of put a percentage, please, in the chat. What do you think your thoughts, your emotions, like what's your set point, if you will, in terms of that fight or flight response and that parasympathetic, everything's a-okay response? Anyone 30 to 70, 75 stress, 70%? Yeah. So a lot of, right? 10% calm. Yeah. When we do this, right? And so it's just recognizing that that's often kind of the loop that we get stuck into. And we're going to be talking more throughout this month about what does that do to the body. Kate, 60% calm. Okay, good. That's great. 60% stress. Okay. So there's all these different ranges, right? And it's just about recognizing where we are and then what may be happening inside our body when we're in these different phases. So a couple more things to share here, and then we're going to dive in to do some of the work of emotional freedom release. When we look at, give me a moment here to get to the next slide. Okay, so you'll hear me talk about the liver, because the liver is an organ located in the body, kind of in the midsection of the body, that is really, really important. And again, not for you to memorize all of these components, but just to have a sense of some of the functions that our liver does. It detoxifies chemicals, drugs, toxins. It makes a substance called bile that passes through our digestive tract and what's the word I'm looking for? It transfers hormones and things around the body. The liver is responsible for regulating our supply of glucose, our supply of fuel for different cells. It helps to regulate metabolism, and it's responsible for the production and the storage of fat. Again, if our body is getting the signal to hold on to fat or to utilize fat effectively. The hormone role of the liver also, it regulates the balance of our hormones, our thyroid hormones, our sex hormones, our adrenal hormones. It also regulates cholesterol that is needed to make hormones, and it detoxifies these hormones. So the big takeaway about the liver is, in order to optimize your metabolism so that you can release weight, your liver needs to have a steady supply of nutrients to do these functions so that you can have more energy, experience better sleep, have better balanced mood, and release weight. Your liver must receive a steady supply of nutrients. And we don't keep these nutrients, these vitamins, these proteins, these minerals in our left butt cheek. They don't just hang out there. We actually have to take them in and then be able to absorb them in order to make the liver function appropriately. And you may have tried different diet plans like Weight Watchers and 21-day fixes and keto dieting and fasting, but they've all failed. And I want you to know that's not your fault. Statistics show that 80% of people who try these things, especially dieting, gain their weight right back, because these things weren't designed to fix the real root of the problem, which is the nervous system. Changing your diet on your food plate does not change your nervous system. That's what we're going to be doing in this program. The sympathetic is the fight or flee response. The parasympathetic is the rest and digest response. When your nervous system is dysregulated, you lose control, which usually leads to more unhealthy choices like binge eating, going to bed later than ideal, skipping meals, these types of things that don't give our cells and our body what they need. And then this leads to this loop of hormone, mood, and gut problems. Sometimes you can start a new diet plan or start a new exercise routine, have the best of intentions. Life happens and gets stressful and overwhelming. Your nervous system becomes dysregulated. So we lose control, make a different choice that doesn't support our health. And then we feel guilty and bad, which just continues the loop. So the root cause is really dysregulation in the nervous system, right? And this is what happens time and time again. I think about this. I'm just going to share one more example here. A woman I worked with, Donna Marie, she tried 40 different diets at different seasons in her life, and she was stuck on the merry-go-round of diets. She was also taking omeprazole for acid reflux. She was struggling with low serotonin, which really affected her mood. And she had a lot of aches and pains in her body because serotonin affects our pain perception. And she was feeling really disempowered in her body. Yet she thought she was eating healthy foods. And she couldn't understand why she was holding on to weight. When we actually looked at her cells, that we can do some testing to see if your cells actually have the nutrients that they need to function at a high level, to remove those toxins, to get rid of waste, you can see, ideally you want everything to be in the green. She had a few in the green, but a lot in the yellow and a lot in the red. So that's why her body didn't have what they needed to stay in balance. And this is why what we're going to be doing today with Carol will help your body to get out of that fight or flight response so that when you do eat foods, those foods will be able to be utilized more effectively. So you'll get the benefit of the vitamins and the minerals, and your body will be able to use them effectively. Is this making sense? Is it making sense that sometimes, like, even if we think we're eating healthy foods, our body actually doesn't absorb those foods and get the benefit of those nutrients? So we have to start with the nervous system so that we can even make sense of what we're taking in.
Well, you said it. It's, everybody's trying to fix the problem with a diet or exercise, and they're not fixing the real problem, which is the dysregulated nervous system. But underneath the dysregulated nervous system is how you're reacting to life, what you've been taught, what you feel, what's being thrown at you by your boss, your spouse, kids, the dog, right? We have to life, manage what's going on. But instead, we're just thrown I don't even know what this year's diet book is, right? But there's another one I'm sure that's come out that says, well, try eating this way, try eating this way. Now they've got the crosstalk where people are on the internet saying, have you done this for 10 years? Well, it's wrong. The science is wrong. You got to do this, low carb, high carb, low sugar, high sugar, low protein, high protein. It doesn't matter. And the bottom line is, underneath it all is our imbalanced nervous system, because we're upset, we're uptight, we're angry, we're hurt, we feel guilty, we haven't dealt with our grief, we haven't dealt with our childhood, we haven't dealt with our boss, we're not doing something, right? Because we feel overwhelmed. And that's how the cycle happens. So we need techniques and tools that regulate our nervous system, or no diet in the world is going to work. Every diet works for somebody for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. I was surprised your statistic that said 80% of the people who diet gain it back within 24 months. I bet it's shorter than that. I know, well, for me, it was certainly shorter than that, right?
Yeah. Many people, it is even a shorter time span. Exactly. But that's why, again, we don't want to be on the merry-go-round of the diet. We want to get to the core, which is usually deeper around the beliefs. For me, personally, in my life, it was tied a lot of work to my belief around time. Just being in the place of, like, I never have enough time. I never have enough time. There's so much I have to do. There's so much I have to do. And that kept me in chronic fight or flight response. So even though here I was eating salads and smoothies and quote unquote really healthy food choices, it didn't matter because I wasn't actually able to receive the benefit of those healthy meals. So yeah. So Carol, do you want to teach us a little bit more about how we can use emotional freedom technique to really support our nervous system and get at this core imbalance?
So everyone, EFT tapping, it's been called many things over the years. We can just call it tapping if you want. We're tapping on acupuncture points on the face and the body, which calms down the fight, flight, or freeze response in the brain. So it's really a stress relief technique that accesses the brain, not just your mind and your thoughts, right? And lots of things affect us that way, our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings. And what we can do is not just, one of the mistakes I made in the beginning is I was always addressing cravings, right? And it works for cravings. People would come back to me and say, oh my gosh, I haven't had chocolate in 6 months since I saw you. Oh my gosh, what's going on? But that's not everything. We need to also do the guilt, the grief, the confusion, the overwhelm, all those feelings. So what we're doing, most of you already know EFT. I think a lot of you on the call know EFT. So what we're doing is tapping on these acupuncture points to relieve stress that's in your body. So again, people want to know nutrition. Carol, give me a nutritional plan. I'm not going to give you a nutritional plan. That doesn't make any sense. First of all, I'm not allowed to, but second of all, that's not your problem, right? Our problem, our challenge is getting our body regulated and balanced. Really, we could have called this balance your body, balance your weight. There are a lot of titles that Amanda and I kicked around, right? But the balance is where it's at. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll do a couple of just hot seats with you all to calm down the stress that may be about, you're upset about your weight. You're upset because you've gained it back. You're upset because you don't know where to go to figure out the hormone situation. Whatever it is, you get to say what's your stressor that needs to be calmed down. And we can do group stuff, but we're going to do some individual stuff as well, where I'll just call on a few of you, or Amanda, you will, so that we can get people going with the tapping. Now, the tapping is the best tool I have found in 30 years in the mental health field. That means I think it is more efficient, faster, quicker for stress relief, even than my speed walking in the morning, even than my gratitude, even than my meditation. Okay. So it's a real fast track to regulating your nervous system. Does everybody have a dysregulated nervous system? Sure. But like Amanda was saying, what percentage of the time? One of you answered, I can't remember which one of you said 60% calm. That's pretty good, but that means 40% of your day is upset, tumultuous, right? Not quite on track, feeling pressed or pressured or worried or frustrated, right? So that's what we have to take care of is that whole piece. So I'm just going to, those of you who are new, just watch, okay? But I'm going to take some of you. So if you raise your hand, Amanda or I will call on you. Eileen, I see you first. So we're going to just do very short turns. And the other thing that I want to say is about any technique, any tool, you have to use it. Okay. So I worked with someone with chronic headaches and chronic weight and chronic this and chronic that. And she said, I don't have time to do 10 minutes of tapping a day. If you don't have time to do 10 minutes of tapping a day, you're not going to feel better, get better, or do better. If you don't have 10 minutes a day to do meditation, if you can't move around the block, move around your house, it's really tough. You have to make a commitment to it. And I was doing this because many of you who've been on my calls know that when I have this $10 plastic watch on my wrist, it means I haven't done my daily tapping yet. And it's a signal to me, oops, don't forget, got to do it, because I would forget it, right? It's just very easy to forget those things because I'm not in high alert anymore. I used to be for years, high alert. So let's start with Eileen. And let's see, Eileen, how do we do this? Say, can you get her to unmute? Oh, she's already unmuted. Hi, Eileen. And everybody else, I want you just to follow along. This is going to be a very short tapping turn. We're going to target the problem that Eileen identifies or Lori identifies. Tap, 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 breathe. And we're moving, we're metabolizing the emotional responses in your body. Okay. Hi, Eileen. Welcome.
Hi, Carol. Nice to work with you again. Okay, so for me, I went through menopause. I split up from a relationship and my mum was diagnosed with dementia. So I've put on weight. What a surprise.
Okay. So one of the things we want to do is find out if there's an upside to you carrying the extra weight. So you all know from my books that that's what I do, the upside and the upside to the problem and the downside to getting over it. So Eileen, what could possibly be an upside to carrying and holding on to the extra weight? All of you, when I ask these questions, please ask yourself this, take any notes, jot anything down that you come up with, no matter how odd it sounds. Is there any positive to you holding on to the extra weight?
Protection.
You feel it as protection. Good. I mean, good to know, right? And what does it protect you from, Eileen?
In terms of relationship, if I've got weight, then I won't get into another relationship. With my mum, I would think my mum carried weight, so it's almost like I'm stepping into my mum's role with taking over the family, and possibly with the menopause, just protecting my body.
Okay. So say this, we're going to get a number. So everybody, we choose a target, which is an emotion or a belief or a stress level. Choose a target, measure it 0 to 10. We go tap, 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 and check in on it. Okay. So Eileen, if you've mentioned the positive parts of holding on to the weight, 0 to 10, if you said out loud to us, I'm actually afraid to let go of the weight. Some of you are going to be shocked that you think you're not afraid. You think you want to get rid of it all, but you are afraid somewhere. So go into your body and say to us, I'm afraid to let go of the weight.
I'm afraid, at this moment as we speak, I'm afraid to let go of the weight because I'll attract someone in my life, and I got hurt before.
Okay, so this is the protection from the hurt. 0 to 10, how high is the fear?
10.
10. So everybody, if you are a 10 at fear of losing the weight, you can't lose the weight if you don't eat for the next 3 months. You can't do it because the body will protect you, right? Our bodies are beautiful and wonderful and amazing and smart, so smart. And sometimes our bodies do things that look a little odd to us, right? So you seem more focused on the relationship part than the other pieces. I think that seems to stand out.
It is because I have done some work around my mum, and I have done personal tapping.
Okay, all right. So here we go. So she's a 10, everybody. Get your number. Are you afraid to lose the weight? And Amanda's going to keep letting our people in. Here we go. Eileen, even though I'm afraid to lose the weight.
Even though I'm afraid to lose the weight.
Because it protects me from a relationship.
Because it protects me from a relationship.
Keep tapping. Everybody, that's not true. It's not factually true, but she thinks it's true, and that's what matters. That's the only thing that matters, is that Eileen is convinced that the weight will keep her from attracting a person. It's not related, right? But you've got that belief, and ... you said, and therefore I can't get hurt again, or I got hurt before and I'm afraid of that. Okay, so we do this twice here. We tap here and say the statement, even though I have this fill in the blank, I deeply and completely accept myself. Why? Because we calm ourselves down just in the acceptance. Even though I'm afraid to lose the weight.
Even though I'm afraid to lose the weight.
What if I get hurt again?
What if I get hurt again?
I don't think I've dealt with the last hurt.
I know I haven't dealt with the last hurt.
Okay. I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Eyebrow. So everybody, I'm going to just name the points. You can do them on either side of the face of the body, but it doesn't matter. You can just do one side. You don't have to do both. Eyebrow. I'm afraid to lose the weight.
I'm afraid to lose the weight.
Because I think I'll get hurt again.
Because I think I'll get hurt again.
And I haven't dealt with the old hurt.
And I still haven't dealt with the old hurt.
That's why I'm using the weight to protect me.
And that's why I'm using the weight to protect me.
Because I'm assuming it'll keep me out of a relationship.
Because I'm assuming it'll keep me out of a relationship.
No wonder I'm afraid. Sorry, everybody, chin, collarbone here. No wonder I'm afraid to lose the weight.
No wonder I'm afraid to lose the weight.
Under the arm, either side of the body. No wonder I'm afraid to let go of the weight.
No wonder I'm afraid to let go of the weight.
The end with the top of the head, round in a little circle up there. I'm afraid to lose the weight because I might get hurt again.
I'm afraid to lose the weight because I might get hurt again.
Take a deep breath. So everyone, we do here, even though I have this problem, I accept myself anyway. Then you name the problem on the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the nose, chin point, collarbone point, under the arm, and the top of the head. It's in your workbook. I gave you, I think I provided 2 or 3 examples of how to and what to say and where to go. We're also going to do some bonuses. Amanda and I are going to do some bonuses on particular topics that come up from these classes. So look forward to that. We'll do video bonuses. So Eileen, there's no right or wrong answer. How do you feel now? How high is that fear that was a 10 of losing the weight connected to the hurt? It doesn't matter if it's the same. We're just trying to get the information and use the tapping to lower this level of stress.
Yeah, as we talked about it, I felt myself getting emotional, so I know it was the right topic. After tapping, I would say it's kind of shifted to about a 7.
Okay. So a 10 to a 7 is a big, big deal. Some people, those of you who know tapping, people are looking for the 0. Don't look for the 0. Can we just go down a few points? It like changes everything in your chemistry. So back to Amanda's portion, your chemistry is everything. And stress continues to hammer your chemistry, right? So that's what we need to get to. So we're going to do one more round for Eileen, okay? You're going to hear it, and you guys will get this recording so you can go over this and over this, even if it's not your issue. So Eileen, here we go again on the side of the hand. Even though I'm still afraid to lose the weight.
Even though I'm still afraid to lose the weight.
Because I might get hurt again.
Because I might get hurt again.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Even though I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt again.
Even though I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt again.
So I'm using my weight as protection.
So I'm using my weight as protection.
I accept who I am and how I feel.
I accept who I am and how I feel.
Eyebrow, I'm afraid to lose the weight.
I'm afraid to lose the weight.
Side of the eye, either side. I'm afraid to lose the protection.
I'm afraid to lose the protection.
Under the eye, on the little bone right there. I'm afraid I might get hurt again.
I'm afraid I might get hurt again.
To the nose, I'm afraid I could get hurt again.
I'm afraid I could get hurt again.
Chin point, I need to deal with the hurt from the last relationship.
I need to deal with the hurt from the last relationship.
Collarbone point, either side, under those little knobs. I need to deal with the hurt so I can lose the weight.
I need to deal with the hurt so I can lose the weight.
Under the arm, either side. I'm afraid to lose the weight because I might feel vulnerable.
I'm afraid to lose the weight because I might feel vulnerable.
Top of that, I didn't even know I was holding on for this reason.
I didn't even know I was holding on for this reason.
Good. Take a breath. So while we're tapping, well, we are pairing it with the problem, which when you think of the problem, it excites your nervous system. And we want that because then you're in it. And once you're in it, we use the tapping to calm you down. This is a brain thing, right? Brain chemistry and nervous system, the vagus nerve and the entire nervous system. This is what we're working with. Okay. And now it's been around for certainly before my time, 40 years, maybe. I think I just saw EFT tapping has been around for 40 years and the precursor to EFT before that. And now the last 10 years, all the research has come out. And of course, weight loss is one of the big things they've researched. And yes, it has a dramatic effect, right? Well, we knew that. I knew that from my personal experience, but now the research has come out. So we are balancing the chemistry, which comes from your body, as well as your mental, emotional, and challenged stress situations. So Eileen told us her mother was diagnosed. She had a breakup and was terribly hurt, and she entered menopause. I would say, Eileen, I think the menopause is not the biggie here. That's what we all hear. Oh, it's menopause. I don't think it's the biggie.
No, I agree. It's because I've been giving it thought, and I've done some work with my mum with tapping and with a practitioner as well. And I've tried to kind of do a chemistry thing with a holistic practitioner on the menopause, but I've never really taken time out to do the relationship. But it's cropped up because I want to be in a relationship, and that's why I think that's the problem, because I'm just wondering why I'm not going for a relationship. So that's why I was clued up when we talked about it.
Excellent. 10 You started with a fear of a 10. You went down to a 7. Where are you now?
I'm at a 6, but we did bring up some anxiety when we were tapping. So I know that I need to do more work around that.
So everybody, a pill can't do this. Regulating, any diets, exercise, none of this can do what we've just done with Eileen. So she gets to a 6, which is significant. And then she says, oops, I've got some new anxieties come up. What does that mean? That means we're not only dealing with, I'm afraid to lose weight, issue number 1. Now we have number 2 and number 3, you said plural. So a couple of more anxieties have come up. Everybody for tapping, separate them on your piece of paper. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and tap on them separately. Right? But this means EFT worked brilliantly, which is it brings it down. And when it's down low enough, other stuff starts to come up. We cover 10 issues with our number 1 big issue. We cover the next 10. So Eileen, homework for you, is that clear? You need to work on the 2 anxieties that came, or a couple of anxieties that came up.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Hello.
Carol, I think that Neha would like a tapping love seat as well. I know we've got a couple more people.
We have 4 more in line. We have 5 more in line. So I'm not sure we're going to get to her because it's 3:45. So you guys get on the list and we'll do it next time, but I'm going to go through this list. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Hi, Lori.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Mutual, thanks. So the last tapping round helped me to get some clarification about what's really going on. The precipitating issue is I got on the scale and I saw how much weight I've gained. But the larger issue is my weight is about, I'm not ready for whatever it is. And the 2 things that are present for me is I moved back to Massachusetts from San Diego after my mom's death in October. So there's still some sadness, but I don't think this is about grief primarily. I'm in the early steps of developing a virtual private practice, and it is a royal pain in the ass, and I'm encountering all kinds of things that I didn't know that I would have to learn how to do. And then the other thing is that my social network isn't there. I've got one close friend who's still here, and she's on hospice. And I've made a friendly connection with somebody who's in the building who's moving. And so there's fear. I do not want to be lonely. I have plenty to keep me busy, but that lack of love. My family is not nearby, and I'm not close to them anyway. So that's what's up.
To the weight, to Lori, connect it to the weight. Don't want to be lonely. I'm starting a new practice. I don't feel like I'm ready. What would be your reason?
I'm not, as long as I'm fat, then I'm not ready to do anything. I'm not ready to meet people. It's like I'm just not ready.
So it's protection. So it's different kind of protection than Eileen, but everybody, you watch that. I know some of you are going to go, what? I don't get it. This is what it's about. It's not about the food. It's not about the weight. It's about, what does the weight do for me? It allows me to say, I can't do that. I'm not ready for that.
Yep.
0 to 10. I would measure your fear also the way I did with Eileen. I'm afraid to lose the weight because then I'd have to show up.
Well, since when you said that, this feeling of panic gripped me, I think we can probably call that a 10.
Everybody follow that? So a lot of people do surface tapping. It's not enough. You've got to ask the questions and go deeper. Just what happened with Eileen and Lori. Okay? Even though I feel panicky at the thought of is showing up okay for you, language?
Yeah, that actually worked well. It names it.
Even though I'm panicked at the thought of showing up.
Even though I'm panicked at the thought of showing up.
And that's why I'm holding on to the weight.
And that's why I'm holding on to the weight.
It works for me.
It works for me. And it's worked for me for a long time.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Even though I feel panic at the thought of showing up.
Even though I feel panic at the thought of showing up.
No wonder I hold on to the weight.
No wonder I hold on to the weight.
No wonder I gained it back.
No wonder I gained it back.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. And Carol, trauma has a lot to do with gaining it back, but that's not my current reality, and it hasn't been for a long time.
Okay, all right. And everybody, even if this isn't your issue, tap along. So you get one, used to the tapping, two, you'd be surprised how many issues end up being all of our issues. Okay, so then we go to the eyebrow point again, everybody. I'm afraid to lose the weight.
I'm afraid to lose the weight.
Side of the eye, I might have to show up differently.
I might have to show up differently.
Under the eye, I don't want to lose the weight.
I don't want to lose the weight.
Under the nose, because I'm using it as my buffer.
Because I'm using it as my buffer and as my excuse.
Chin point, this is my excuse.
This is my excuse.
Collarbone, please don't take it away from me.
Please do not take it away from me.
I feel afraid when I think of losing this excuse.
I feel afraid when I think of losing this excuse.
Top of that, I'm scared when I think of dropping the weight.
I'm scared when I think of dropping the weight.
Everybody, we just end with a breath that kind of keeps moving things along. There's no right or wrong answer. No matter what Lori says, we're moving energy and moving emotional conflict. How's that feel, Lori, to you?
Affirming of my reality, a little bit calming,
okay,
and a beginning.
A beginning. Okay, so we'll go back and do it again. So everybody, you can go around 2, 3, 4 times, whatever you want. I'm still afraid to lose.
I'm still afraid to lose the weight.
Because I think it's my excuse and buffer.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I think it's my excuse and my buffer.
Because I think it's my excuse and my buffer.
Under the eye, I'm afraid to lose the weight.
I am afraid to lose the weight.
Under the nose, because I think it protects me.
Because I think it protects me.
I didn't think it was about protection.
I didn't think it was about protection.
Collarbone, but now I know that's why I'm using it.
But now I know that that's how I'm using it.
Maybe it's a little more complex than that.
Maybe it's a little more complex than that.
Top of the head, maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
I'm afraid to lose the weight.
I'm afraid to lose the weight.
Deep breath. So we human beings tend to make it more complicated. It's not that complicated. It's just not. We use things to protect ourselves. We use smoking, we use weight, we use drinking, we use dramatic relationships, we use I hate my boss, we use my family's, we use lots of things to not face challenging, tough, upsetting, hard stuff. Welcome to being human. So Lori, how'd you end there emotionally? How's that feel?
A little bit less fearful, a little bit calmer, but really it's about recognition and validation that that's how I've been using it and that's what there is to address. Because there's like my quest has been about give up the identity of being a victim. And this is part of it because I am so ready for so many things. And I've got this attachment to an old, long out of date identity. And so this is the process of uncovering it and letting it go.
Good. Let us know how you do. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Carol.
Hi, Sharon. I'm just
Hi.
going this here. Hi. So Sharon, do you want to put your video on or not?
No. Thank you. Sorry.
Sharon, the upside of your weight, the downside of letting it go, what's going on that might make you, in addition to menopausal stuff, in addition, what is emotionally causing you the stress and keeping it on?
Well, very much like Eileen, relationship was definitely I haven't been in a relationship for a very long time. And mother, I'm definitely becoming, I look more like my mother than I ever did before. So mother's a big issue here. But like 5 or 6 years ago, I lost 55 pounds. And now I'm up 10 pounds and then I go down 10 pounds and up 10 pounds. And I can't seem to get past that original weight loss. But everything seems to be shifting in my body, and I always had a little bit of a abdomen, but now everything's in the middle. So all the clothes, even 2 years ago, that I was wearing 2 years ago at the same weight, don't fit because my abdomen and the whole midsection is like, and I'm just so disgusted. But I also think I'm punishing myself.
Okay. So that's sometimes the upside of doing something with our bodies this way. So I'm punishing guilt loves punishment. I feel guilty, 0 to 10. I feel guilty about fill in the blank or just tell us this thing. You don't have to tell us the content.
Oh God.
Why would you be punishing yourself? What's the point?
Wow, I don't even know. Uh, punishing myself. Oh, because I'm just not good enough, and that wasn't good in my relationship, and I probably was the cause, even though he cheated on me and left me, blah blah blah. I'm probably the cause of why he did that in the first place. So I'm not good enough. So whatever. And my mother, I've always wanted to, in quote, when I was a kid, I grew up thinking I want to be like my mother, and then it's like, no, I I don't want to be like my mother.
Sharon, I think there are probably several targets we could go to,
Yeah, totally.
right? But right now, okay, just follow along.
Okay.
Right? Your homework will be to continue with what you're telling us. Here's
Okay.
an issue. Here's an issue. You said to me, I'm likely punishing myself. And I think fascinating. If we say that out loud, something's going on.
Yeah. I want to cry, so that's what's coming up. So
Here we go. Even though I'm likely punishing myself with my weight,
even though I'm likely punishing myself with my weight,
because I don't think I'm good enough.
because I don't think I'm good enough.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I suspect I'm punishing myself with my weight,
Even though I suspect I'm punishing myself with my weight,
I accept who I am and how I feel.
I accept who I am and how I feel.
Eyebrow, I'm using my weight to punish myself.
I'm using my weight to punish myself.
Side of the eye, and I think I always have.
And I think I always have.
Under the eye, I'm using my weight to punish myself.
Oh, I'm using my weight to punish myself.
The nose, because I'm convinced I'm not good enough.
Because I'm convinced I'm not good enough, or there's something wrong with me.
Chin, I've always felt something was wrong with me.
I've always felt that something's wrong with me.
Collarbone, and it's hard to remember that that's not true.
And it's hard to remember that that's not true.
Under the arm, because they taught it to me.
Because they taught it to me.
No wonder I use weight to punish myself.
No wonder I use weight to punish myself.
It's what I know best.
What's what I know best.
Good deep breath. There is no right or wrong. We didn't measure the number. How are you doing on that topic?
Oh yeah, that's definitely the topic for sure. Yeah,
Where did you first learn? One answer. Where did you first learn I'm not good enough? Who taught you that?
well, my mom, just because she was never felt good enough, and I just took that right on too.
Ancestral stuff, right? And then she probably communicated it to you. It's not factually true, everybody, but under age 8, we have to believe that stuff. We don't have a choice. It's another place we don't have a choice.
Yep.
We can undo the beliefs now. Sharon, go right to the eyebrow again. She taught me I wasn't good enough.
Oh, she taught me I wasn't good enough.
And I didn't know that she was wrong.
And I didn't know that she was wrong.
I didn't know until later that she got the same messages.
I didn't know until later that she got the same messages. And she also said that I was wrong and that I would never be right. I mean, I got that I would never be right. I'm not only, I'm wrong and never will be right.
Under the nose, she taught me I would never be right.
She taught me I would never be right.
Chin, and I was too young to understand she was wrong.
And I was too young to understand that she was wrong.
And I was a loyal kid.
I was a loyal kid.
So I was loyal to her belief.
So I was loyal to her beliefs.
Top of that, but I want to let that one go.
But I want to let that one go.
I am good enough.
Because I am good enough.
I know it in my bones.
And I know it in my bones. Yeah.
Right. So everyone, that's an example of a belief. It's not really the feeling as much as the belief and then the behavior. So Sharon punishes herself with the weight because she's convinced, well, I'm not good enough and I'm never going to be right. All those things are creating weight, creating reasons to hold on, creating reasons to punish ourselves. This is why you've got to do the emotional work in addition to everything else. You can't skip it. Can't skip it. Sharon, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
To be continued. Hi, Carolyn. Everybody, it's 5 of 4. We're going to go over a little bit because we had some tech issues in the beginning. We'll go to 5 past if we can. I want to get you 2 in there. And then we'll do coming attractions for next week. And as well, we have put in the Q&A. So we've put in a 5th call. So which will be Q&A and answering questions, any Q, any A, and some more tapping. So you'll see it on your schedule. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
So the stress is something that resonated with me. and I have seen improvements in my health, but a small change then sets off more stress. And then it's like I'm holding on. So just last week, I had lost weight. I was feeling good. I was exercising. Got news that the gym is closing. And that was enough that I can feel this tension and also holding on. And it doesn't make sense because there are other gyms in the area.
So for you, though, there's a history of a little change irks you, and then your excuse ends up being eating the food. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just say, because everybody's got this, I'm afraid of change.
Yeah.
0 to 10.
Yeah. So that's definitely a 10.
So everybody, and a lot of you came to this call not thinking you'd be dealing with your fear of change, but that's the kind of thing, it may not be yours, but it's the kind of issue that makes us hold on. Okay. So everybody tap with Carolyn. Okay. And again, this is in your workbook, and we'll send that to you again at the end of this call. Even though I'm afraid of change,
Even though I'm afraid of change,
I accept who I am anyway.
I accept who I am anyway.
Even though I use change as an excuse to overeat,
Even though I use change as an excuse to overeat
and as an excuse to hold on to weight,
and as an excuse to hold on to weight,
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Eyebrow, I hate change.
I hate change.
Now, here, just Carolyn, when you do the first one, definitely at the beginning of the hair of either eyebrow. Okay.
Okay.
I hate change.
I hate change.
Side of the eye. I use it as an excuse.
I use it as an excuse.
Under the eye, I hate change.
I hate change.
Under the nose, it rattles me.
It rattles me.
And then out of safety, I hold on to weight.
And then out of safety, I hold on to weight.
Collarbone, out of safety, I hold on to weight.
Out of safety, I hold on to weight.
And I forgive myself.
And I forgive myself.
And I'm tired of using little changes as a reason.
But I'm tired of using little changes as a reason
Hold on to weight.
to hold on to weight.
Good deep breath. How'd that feel?
So that lowered it. There's definitely a little tension here. And that's not normal for me, but it started last week.
Okay. The tension makes me hold on to weight.
The tension makes me hold on to weight.
But I can handle tension.
But I can handle tension.
Carolyn, keep tapping while I say something. So everybody, it doesn't take much tension or stress for us to go into our old patterns of holding on. Okay. It does not take much to affect the nervous system. Okay. This tension in my body.
The tension in my body.
The eye makes me hold on to my weight.
Makes me hold on to my weight.
Under the nose, but I can handle it.
That I can handle it.
I can handle my tension.
I can handle my tension.
Without holding on to weight.
Without holding on to weight.
But it's an old pattern of mine.
But it's an old pattern of mine.
Stop that. But I forgive myself.
But I forgive myself.
Good. Deep breath.
Yeah.
All right. So you know where you need to go.
Yeah, that made a big difference. And it is an old pattern from having been a caregiver some years back.
All right. So that kind of stuff can't be unpacked unless we ask the questions and go through a couple of rounds. And then it's like, oh, this is what happens, everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Carolyn.
Yeah. Thank you, Carol.
Okay. Manisha, hello. So everybody, it's 4:00. We're just gonna do a few minutes so I can fit in Manisha. You're gonna get a recording of the call from Amanda's email. You're gonna get the workbook again and look at the date for the new Q&A that we've got, and we'll see you at 2:00 Central, 3:00 Eastern next week. But Amanda will close the call also after I deal with Manisha. How are you?
Doing good, Carol. Thank you. I'll just deep dive the beliefs that I've written down.
Okay, one.
Okay. Something about not doing enough.
You're convinced. So I'm saying one because we're already at the time. So
Mhm.
one belief that you think makes you hold on to weight is that I'm not doing enough.
I'm not doing enough. There is not enough time. It's harder for me. It's on those lines.
Okay. And where did you learn that? Where did you learn that?
Probably entire childhood, it was, harder to lose weight, and I had to do things to, eat well all the time, exercise, stuff like that. Pretty early on, it started.
So I'm going to say a statement, and if it feels true, I want you to measure it. I feel like a failure with my weight.
It does sound true. Yes.
Okay, so I could hear that coming through in some of the beliefs. So everybody, if you feel like a failure, don't pretend you don't. We want to tap on it and wipe it out and clear it out. Okay, so Manisha told us there was always something more to do. She didn't feel like she was doing it right. She didn't feel like she was doing enough. That makes people feel like a failure in any part of your life, right? So that language is clear and it will help with the tapping, okay? Here we go like this. Even though I've always felt like a failure.
Even though I've always felt like a failure.
I don't feel like I get it done.
Don't feel like I get it done.
I don't feel like I do enough.
I don't feel like I do enough.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself.
Even though I think I've felt this way my whole life.
Even though I felt this way my whole life.
That I'm a failure.
That I'm a failure.
I won't get it right.
I won't get it right.
I accept all of me anyway.
I accept all of me anyway.
Brow point, I don't know that I accept myself.
I don't know if I accept myself.
Because I feel like a failure.
Because I feel like a failure.
And I always think I'm doing it wrong.
And I always feel like I'm doing it wrong.
Or I'm not doing enough.
Or I'm not doing enough.
I always feel like I'm not doing enough.
I always feel like I'm not doing enough.
And I've always blamed myself.
And I've always blamed myself.
I always feel like a failure.
I always feel like a failure.
They made me feel that way too.
They made me feel that way too.
Deep breath. There's no right or wrong answer. How's that feel to you?
Definitely felt through because it was there all my life. Like I had to do something about the weight.
All your life. And when you were a child, you weren't being taken for hormone tests and gut level this and whatever. And we also were not being told it's your stress or your grief or your guilt or your hurt. Nobody said that. People said eat less. That's what they said. Stop the sweets, stop the sugar. Okay. Manisha, you see how I combined a couple of your beliefs in one?
Right.
And if the word failure doesn't resonate for you, go back to your words, but it was a way to kind of encapsulate it. So do this one more time. Even though I always blamed myself.
Even though I always blamed myself.
Side of the eye. I choose to remember I'm doing the best I can.
I choose to remember that I'm doing the best I can.
What if it's not my fault?
What if it's not my fault?
With the nose. What if I just didn't have the right tools?
What if I just didn't have the right tools?
They told me I was wrong.
They told me I was wrong.
And I felt constantly like I was doing it wrong.
And I felt constantly that I was doing it wrong.
That created a lot of stress in my body.
That created a lot of stress in my body.
That created way too much cortisol.
That created way too much cortisol.
Too much self-hatred.
Too much self-hatred.
Holding on to weight.
Holding on to weight.
Good. How's that feel?
All of those words just resonate. A lot of judgment, a lot of criticism around weight growing up. So, and it still continues. So,
okay. So what I would say is those are your targets for tapping rather than change the food, change the diet, change this, do it better. You don't need to do it better. You need to address the chronic tension of being told it was your fault, you're not doing enough. I would also deal with another target, resentment.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that Manisha, she and I met at a conference recently. I know that Manisha knows how to do tapping, so I can just tell her the targets. Resentment and rebellion.
Yeah.
When people are criticized within an inch of their lives about their weight, sometimes they say, you know what, watch me. And there's a backwards way that we think we're getting back at other people, and we rebel and say, doesn't work on me. It's a subtle, odd thing that happens in human beings' brains, but it happens.
Definitely, that's going on.
Good. Okay, see, good, Manisha. So Sneha, I know you wanted to raise your hand. We'll do you next week. And also anybody else who didn't raise their hand today, gonna do more stress relief about what's at the core. Okay. Amanda, comments, what's going on with
This is great. Well, and again, I hope everyone, like, I know your community is familiar with tapping and everything. People from my community, it's like really getting to see how it's not necessarily about the food. It's not about, the exercise or the meal plans. It's going into these deeper core thoughts and beliefs and perceptions that we've been carrying sometimes for decades, that really can shift things on a profound level. One other announcement, I mean, everyone who's here obviously got the link. I've been getting emails that people haven't gotten the Zoom link, and so please check your spam folders. Please spread the word to people that you know to check your spam folders. I know our system has delivered it, but the Zoom link will remain the same for all 4 weeks. So you can always come back to this and just put it in your calendar now, so you have it in advance for all 4 weeks. And we will be sending out the replay later this evening as well. There's one replay page that will have all of your trainings plus the bonuses and everything in one spot. So you can bookmark that on your Chrome browser or whatever browser you use for easy access in the future.
Good, everyone. So same time next week. All right. We'll talk about stress, more tapping to relieve it. I think you all totally get it. If those of you who are new to the tapping, watch the video again, watch how I do it, how simply I do it. And we have it in your workbook. Here's the phrase. Here's where you tap. Here's what you say when you tap the other points for beginners. And then we're going to do, again, some bonuses where Amanda's going to help me. We're going to take each other through some tapping sequences for you to be able to watch it as well. Okay. It's super simple. Don't make it more complicated than it is. It is the key. Getting to these issues is going to change the hormonal imbalances and the cortisol problems that we all have in our bodies. Okay.
And one thing I would also offer for those of you, like Carol said, she puts on her watch. She actually gave me that. I put my watch on my right hand until I do my tapping for the day, and then I switch it to the left so that I remember. But if you can think of one of these topics or something similar that resonated with you, in 5 minutes a day, this does a lot to help continue to soften that resistance, that stress response in the body.
Great. Amanda, Sharon is saying she didn't get the workbook. So if your person could send it out again to everyone, which it will.
Okay. Yes, we'll make sure we check that we send the workbook with the replay as well. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Right,
We'll go just 3 to 4 next week. No tech problems. We'll go 3 to 4 Eastern, 2 to 3 Central, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Can't wait, and check the schedule for the new Q&A that we put on.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.